So happy to have you joining us this week as I have a wide-ranging conversation with Kevin Gebert, a dad, a financial planner, a money manager, an author, and a stand-up comic and lyricist. He is bringing his wisdom from the financial planning world to a more approachable genre by combining music and comedy to make it engaging and relevant. So I hope you enjoy this conversation. We bring a little humor, a little bit of song, and a lot of 80s references in for you Gen X friends of ours. Sit back and enjoy the ride. Hey there, friends. Are you looking for tools to resolve stress? Reliable information to support your whole health? Tips to help you motivate yourself and identify when motivation is fading before it happens? Implementation, accountability, and someone to remind you to celebrate even the small successes. We live in a world of information and health gurus, biohackers, and overachievers. But just because we have the access to countless one thing you need to know right now tips doesn't make it easier to size them up and understand which ones will work for you. What if there was one place where you could find tools you can use and accountability in a community that cheers you on, where information about health trends and lifestyle is reliable and straightforward, where you don't need to invest hours of your time, just 15 minutes a week. More if you want to take advantage of recorded meditations to keep you centered and create the space to really integrate your mindset and lifestyle upgrades. Are you ready to see what change you can create in your energy level and improve your mood? Ready to discover that stress isn't your enemy and could even become your secret weapon to leverage your success? The Velocity membership is designed to give you the support you're looking for, along with community and tools you can use today to restore your vitality and resilient health. I'm Susie, host of the Happified podcast, a stress resolution coach, and your new cheerleader. I know that you have what it takes to up-level your health habits and restore your resilience. You just might need a boost to start building momentum. I've designed a membership where you can choose the level of support you'd like to get every month, whether it's tuning in to connect with like-minded change makers or getting personalized support with one-on-one coaching to help you chart your path to success. Check out the link for the Velocity membership at happifiedlife.com. Special pre-launch pricing is now available for premium support, but you can jump in for free if you just want to test the waters. I look forward to seeing you inside. Living in a stressful world doesn't mean you have to give up on happiness. Instead, you can shift your perspective of stress and discover how to live your life in flow. Welcome to Happified. I'm your host, Susie Vine. Join me for inspiration and interviews with folks who are shining their light in the world in the areas of positive mindset, health, and wellness. I'm so happy to have you here. Welcome back, everybody. I'm really excited to have you with me this week as I share a special conversation with Kevin Gebert.
Special conversation.
A special conversation. Stay tuned. You don't know where we're going to go with this. We might just break into song.
Yeah, we're going to cross the border.
We're doing it.
Yes.
Kevin Leonard Gebert is a lyricist, a father, financial planner, money manager, author, and stand-up comedian. But lyricists require 3 names, so that's why we expand for his future growing, burgeoning career as a lyricist.
Learning of my father. I'm named after my father. If my grandmother had his way, my name would have been Leonard Kevin Gebert. But if you sent the alphabet, K comes before L.
Yes, I like it. According to my Canadian husband, it's very traditional to be named for your father. So you're only upholding your heritage.
Exactly.
Eh?
And he laughs at my jokes. Eh?
And we're already laughing at our own. Hopefully we'll be able to bring this up so everybody else can enjoy it too.
Exactly.
So I was completely taken, Kevin, the first time we met at a networking event. We chatted over the summer and you were cracking some puns in the breakout room. So I love your witticisms.
Witticisms.
And the way that you bring that and humor to the typically dry realm of financial advice,
It's
insights, planning.
It's drier than paint.
Truth, drier than paint. It's better than watching paint dry.
Unless it's shellacked or unless you prime it. If you prime the paint, it's not as dry. So if you prime, like the prime rate, everyone looks about prime rate with the dollar. So if you prime the money, then it's not as dry as if you don't prime the money.
Yes.
So we prime our money in Canada with different colors.
It's much more interesting.
It's just green, right? Which is cool.
We like it simple.
Green is growing, growth, green might be part of the GDP, green domestic product, right?
More and more so.
Yeah, exactly.
Of late, actually. Interestingly.
Yeah.
But yeah, we've got some making up to do in that regard.
Yeah. And it could be Giuliani domestic product too.
He needs a new job.
Oh, he'll get a new job. Don't worry.
So I love that your comic approach brings a little levity to the dry and sometimes stressful world of money. So how do you like to lighten up this conversation for the folks that you work with? Well, tell us again, bring us back to the beginning. How did you find yourself in this space?
Well, I found myself in this space, thank you, due to a soccer ball.
I'm already
a soccer
intrigued.
Ball, and not my voice, because I went to a Bible college in Prince Albert, Saskatchewan, which is founded in the middle of Saskatchewan. And because of my soccer skills, I was brought on to plant a church in Winnipeg, Manitoba, which Portage and Maine, look that up, is the windiest part of the world. So Portage and Maine, and we're doing kids programs in the summer, youth programs, that sort of thing. So not because of my voice, which you wouldn't know about now. It's like I have a voice now with my songs, right? But way back when, it was because of my left foot and right foot, a soccer ball, that I was able to move to Winnipeg to be part-time. They call it tent making. No tents involved, but that's what the saying was. So part-time work. So I did youth group kind of thing, youth ministry. And the pastor had a financial planner that needed a 19-year-old to lick envelopes, answer the rotary tile phone.
Look it up, kids. They might not have it on Google.
Look it up. Yes, it was a little round. It wasn't like this. It was round.
You might have
you got your finger. You got your nail. You have to cut my fingers because it, I got bandages all the time. It's like a bandage, whatever. So, anyways, back in the 1992. Yeah.
Island the Rotary.
Yeah, the Rotary. Yes. So, it's kind of like that Fisher Price toy that my kids, I wanted to have, anyways.
I feel like they made that a touch tone.
Yeah, they could. Yeah. The day before, or the way before, when phone numbers were only 7 digits, not 10. But anyway, so the pastor's financial planner needed someone to do that. And that's how I got in the business. So I moved back from Winnipeg, 1996, wrote my exam entry level and started in a snowstorm. 1996, January, it was a snowstorm in BC, British Columbia. And so I live about 10 minutes from the US border, the Peace Arch border. And January 1st will be 25 years.
Time 25. Flies when you're having fun.
Exactly. But, time was flying. Things are changing. I was a Gretzky fan all my years. Gretzky did get traded. I was working at McDonald's that afternoon that Gretzky got traded from the Edmonton Oilers to the Los Angeles Kings, along with Marty McSorley and millions and millions of dollars. But his saying, and I used his, and another thing too, do not do this at home, people. Okay. Do not take Gretzky rookie cards and use them as spokes in your bike.
Oh, the heartbreak.
Do not do that.
So the first huge financial tip of the day
is not to use Gretzky rookie cards. Don't even take them out of the package. They need to be mint. My brother and I actually have one. I don't think it's mint, but no, I used to use, your listener or our viewers, okay, probably collected hockey cards back in the day. Not for the cards, but for the gum. The stick of gum. But anyways, Gretzky rookie cards, in the spokes because it sounded cool.
Who knew?
I was a boy, so I wasn't allowed to have those Fender the pom pom things.
No.
Right. So I had to do So that got me the girlfriend or let's walk around the school date. Let's walk around the school during a recess. Holding pinky fingers.
With the whirring of the cards and the spokes.
I know.
Captivating.
But anyways, the reason why I brought up Wayne Gretzky is he had a saying of going where the puck is going to be, not where it is. So in my life, I've always looked ahead. Where's the puck going to be? I know that, in the States years ago, Fox TV had to have like a little laser in the puck. So you knew where the puck is going to be on TV. That gave me a headache. But anyways, where's the puck going to be? So basically 6 years ago, my now ex-wife, basically said I wasn't funny. So for Christmas, she sent me to comic school.
The gift that keeps on giving. Better than a drum set.
Better than a drum set. Better than a guitar. Better than a piano that you have to, pay money to get it keyed all the time. But so I had a book published 6 years ago, talking financial photographs, how to talk to your family about money. Because my dad always took us to McDonald's on Payday Friday. And we had 5 kids, or my mom had 5, my parents had 5 kids. And so every Payday Friday, McDonald's, before the whole value meal, he made our own value meal. We had the sundae at the end, and but at my dad's 60th birthday, I think my brother did a little vignette music video kind of thing. And he said, well, you did know that Dad only had coffee at our dinners, right? You're so busy, because back in the day, you actually was able to sit on Hamburger's lap.
Oh yeah.
And the purple, what's the purple goblin or purple
Grimace?
Grimace.
I got you.
And Ronald McDonald, and you had anyways. So, but back then you're eating all that stuff, and my dad had coffee, so the book was going to be called just Coffee because you're having conversations over coffee. But I was one pain in the ass. Oh, sorry, French. Le bottom. To my mom back in the day before digital, and she took tons of pictures. She did genealogy, all that stuff. So I took the pictures and the conversations about money, and that's where the book came from, with financial photographs. So the book was published. I took comedy class. My mom was fighting psychosarcoma, I think it was called, cancer. It was caught. Well, it wasn't caught, but it was diagnosed stage 4, and she fought a good 18 months. And once my mom made it into palliative care, my now ex-wife decided that, hey, let's end the marriage.
This is the time.
Yeah, this is the time. It's strategic, get him at his lowest. So anyways, I was battling, mom passing away and marriage ending and all that stuff. And after that happened, my mom passed away and all that family stuff. I kind of sat back and why do I do what I do? Why do I wake up in the morning? Why do I do? So I had this grand idea to go back to school and take a life coaching program at a wellness college down in Vancouver. I didn't know why I was doing this. I was the only person in the class that wanted to leave their job and become a life coach, right? I didn't know why I wanted to become a life coach, but it did. After taking that and going through the process, created something called Life and Money and Purpose. And so that's kind of like the my own made double. There's something called Tim Hortons in Canada.
I love some Tim Hortons.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. Yeah, Tim Hortons double. Lyrics in my song too. Nice. Double, getting ready for the day. So anyway, so I took life coaching, money coaching. Put your oxygen mask on first. So you can basically look after yourself, because how can you help others? So whatever, whoever's watching this, whatever profession you do, if you're not looking after yourself first, healthy and wise, how can you look after your clients, right? Mm-hmm. And so that's the whole foundation, building your house upon the rock rather than the sand, all that stuff, right? So 13 months ago, I had this great idea to put together a course for my financial clients, because I'm a financial planner, money manager. CFP, which is the gold standard around the world, Certified Financial Planner. And what for a boring 4-course module course for clients, the co-creator with me, she decided, hey, you're a stand-up comic, right? And when I do stand-up comedy, I take 80 songs and turn them into financial songs. So, the famous Olivia Newton-John, off camera in the green room, we were talking about the Parliament buildings in Vancouver Island, right? So I have this shtick where I'm with the premier, which is kind of like a governor in the States, okay, and their financial minister, okay. They're in a karaoke bar after a few drinks, and they get up on the karaoke bar, and they're singing, "Let's get fiscal, fiscal. I want to get fiscal. Show me that your budget rocks. Your budget rocks. Show me that your budget rocks." Okay. And then in Canada, we have something called the CRA, which is kind of like the IRS in the States. Mm-hmm. So bring on Bruce Springsteen, born in the USA, but my version is on the phone to the CRA, looking how much taxes I have to pay, So there's a lot of, and I have a Radiohead song too, the Creep,
Yeah.
the song Creep. I'm a credit card fiasco. So it's just all this stuff, music and all that stuff. So anyways, backtracking, 4-module boring course for clients, right? I don't think it's boring. I say that sarcastically because I love what I do. And then comedy, like what does comedy have to do with, so I re-looked at Seinfeld.
Oh.
I watched Seinfeld.
It worked for him. Yeah.
Nothing, right?
About
and if you haven't, Susie, or if your viewers today haven't watched the Netflix special, I think it's called Seinfeld or Jerry Before Seinfeld or something like that. There's a New York City block where he's just sitting there, reminding me of the Sesame Street, the block, Sesame Street. But it's all of sticky notes, and it's every joke that he's ever written, right? And I just love, like, I'm never going to be a Jerry Seinfeld. Right? We'll never say never.
That's right.
I can create my own YouTube special and just call it Netflix. But basically, it had every sticky, and I'm thinking that is the most creative thing in the world. You have a passion, whatever it is, if it's basket weaving or tennis or whatever, right? It's, colored by numbers. It's just using creativity. And that's what I love as a financial planner, because I'm able to put plans in place with the client so they can do their passion. They can have, they don't have to worry about the stress of money, right? So we got the course, we got the comedy, right? So all the jokes are written based on the curriculum, right? And then, trying to tell jokes in front of a camera, without a laugh, an audience, is kind of hard too, right? But it's accomplishable. And then the third thing is that I thought that, well, every course in the whole wide world has a theme song, right? Oh. So I, with the help of my entourage, created the alter ego, Mr. Moolah Doula.
Alter ego.
I call it an alter ego. Yeah. And so I have the garb, I wear the funky outfits and the
scrubs.
The scrubs and the Converse, just a plug there for you Converse people. and yeah, so Mr. Moolah Doula, because we birth money stories, right?
I
so
like
the theme
it.
song, it's time to write a story. It's time to let it birth. You might think I'm crazy if I sing hallelujah, but let's get started and call Mr. Moolah Doula. So that's the theme song, like Cheers. You always remember theme songs.
Exactly.
And and then everything is a content song. So I have a picture time with my mom. It goes through everything with picture time. So and then it's expanded to Amaze to Amazing, which is your life coaching, right? And it's there's also a Rock Your Financial Plan, which is the people in your neighborhood. Sesame Street. These are the people in your neighborhood. So you have mortgage broker and all that stuff. And then last but not least, if you don't have fun and you don't smile and you're not happy, I had to bring Mr. Smith in the conversation because he's there to unlock your happy. So the theme song is called the Bucket List Twist.
Oh,
The Bucket List Twist. Yes.
I like
Yes.
it.
Yeah.
I like
With
it.
Mr. Smith, because get it. Hey, I told you this in the green room, but we're live here, so we have to pretend that we didn't hear it. The locksmith, because he's going to unlock your happy. So if you had the key, what would be your happy? Exactly.
Yes.
So that's a long story. So the last 6 years have been, just wonderful, just rocket, thinking. But I believe that you have to use your left brain and your right brain. So Mr. Moolah Doula has a friend called Mr. Meow. That's the host of the Cat Show, because we just scratched the surface. And it's for cat lovers and non-cat lovers. Viewers, you don't have to be a cat lover to like the show. But it's creative and analytical thinking. So, but at the end of the day, I know that, you talk about stress a lot. Is that right?
I do.
So,
I'm an advocate.
You're an advocate. So basically, I'm just going to arc back to the topic of stress. Is that I firmly believe that I am a unstressologist. I'm going to buy the.
Do you like de-stressologist? Does that one work for you?
Yeah,
Okay.
or an a-stressologist, because I'm Canadian, right? De-stressologist, but I'm going to buy the domain tomorrow.
Hands off, kids.
Yeah, exactly. You heard it here first. But no. To be serious, is that life is full of stress, and if I can de-stress people in regards to the money side and the life side, with the help of other people, because I believe more the merrier. If I can create that, and I can put, I can be a small part of someone being able to be able to live their life on purpose, because they don't have to worry about money. That's my contribution to the world. And if I can make someone smile, like I say on stage, smile with me or at me, just don't tell me. Right? Because, you get on stage and, as soon as you hear that joke, it's a long 6 minutes, it's still, 360 seconds, right? 6 minutes, 36 times 6. Yeah. 360 seconds. Okay. That's a very long time if there's no laughs. But once you get a laugh, all of a sudden that 360, like you want to stay on stage for, 36 hours, have a marathon of jokes.
It just takes one laugh to unlock all that.
Exactly. But if I tell a joke and there's a callback, and I hear a callback is when you repeat the joke at the end, then, if I can make someone laugh and I can make someone enjoy life. And so, because one thing, there's a lyric in one of my songs. It's I want my life full of memories, not what ifs.
That's a good line.
And I remember my mom, and she said, "Oh, we're gonna wait till Dad retires, and then we're gonna go." She's into genealogy, so she was back in the day. A big present for her, like jumping up for joy, was airmail envelopes and stamps. She was jumping up for joy. She was jumping on the couch and all that stuff, and she, from heaven, she's probably looking down at me saying, "Kevin, you're still not funny." But yeah, she didn't think I was funny. But my dad is a laugh support. He might think that I'm not funny, but he doesn't tell me. He just, so, but seriously, she was going to go, to England, and my mom's side is from England, England. And my dad's side is from Germany, Austria, that background with the genealogy. So she's going to go on those trips. And, I was looking at her in palliative care, and I'm going, Mom, you didn't get those trips because my dad retired early to look after her, right? And so it's just not that she was thinking of what if, but that's what I was thinking. Well, what if she would have done this? And they had a great life, they had their trips and, that sort of thing. But she wasn't able to get her hobby farm. She wasn't able to go over to England to meet all these people, back in the, remember microfiche?
Oh, yeah.
I know. She was microfishing it.
Wow.
She's a microfiche expert.
Yeah, she did not start in these easy days of genealogy.com or whatever.
No,
23andMe does half of the homework.
23andMe. No. She used to tell me I had like 17 types of blood in my body. not type A, type B, type C, Russian, German, English, all that stuff. So, so that's just, I people have been asking me, a few conversations of, what were you like when you were a kid? Like I was freaking sweating bullets putting my hand up, asking a girl to a slow dance, it's like, Stairway to Heaven ends. That's the perfect song for a dance in high school. It's the longest slow song in the world. And, sweaty palms is like, oh my goodness. Right. And now it's like, what I could have done if I was like this now, right? What I would have known now, then what I know now. Right. So, so just the whole stress thing is like, stress in life, stress in debt, stress in politics, all this stuff, and in a normal world, things are stressful. Right. So you add in a pandemic, you add in all this other stuff and it's not fun. Right. So if I can take the stress away and put a little smile on someone's face and, my kids think I'm really punny, but thanks to their mom, I'm a stand-up comic now. So
there we go. You got
thank you,
this
the
mother.
I would like to publicly thank the mother of my children for kicking me the butt and giving me the heave ho, and look where I am now.
Building up that funny bone.
The funny bone, yes, I know. But funniness is subjective.
Yes.
Very, very subjective, But my favorite thing is when I'm on stage and I'm telling a joke and I tell one joke. Let's say I start with a joke, and I'm into my second joke and people start laughing about my first joke. I think that is the funniest. That's my analytical thing, because I think too much. That's one problem with being analytical. You think too much.
You got to bring in that.
Exactly. You're leaning left, CNN, you're leaning right, Fox. So if you turn off the TV, you're actually standing straight. Right. There's another version of that, but I'm not going to get into that version of that joke. But these days you have Newsmax and AAON or whatever. It's like, whoa. So, I just need to laugh. You need to laugh.
We do need to laugh. And money definitely is one of, I think, the greatest stressors or reasons that people don't laugh, right? I mean, that just weighs so heavy when it's a mess. And then it's like,
there's only so many hours in the day, you're living 24/7, 365, kind of thing. And you're working and then you come home and then it's just tired. And then, you have to be like a parent now. You have to be like a Zoomer now. You're a Zoom expert because your grade 5 daughter can come into your, she's not here right now, but she'd probably be coming in here and changing. God forbid I was wearing a green shirt. They're Zoom experts now, right? Like I took typing where you had to go like this, right? And the teacher had a stick called Stella and you got hit. Well, you didn't get hit. The desk beside you got hit if you're looking at your words, right? And So the stress is you need to get rid of that stress in life, and if we can do that, and I'm even going to probably write my own a song for my own funeral. Because the version, another one bites the dust 2.0, but things like that. I would not have even thought of that, and people might think that's kind of, I don't know, but come on, you have to enjoy life.
I think that a lot of people would benefit from having a little more, I don't know if irreverence is quite the right word, but certainly a sense of humor in approaching things that we make out to be these monumental things, right?
Because you look at, okay, I want to retire at a certain age. I'm going to live to a certain age. I had a grandmother that lived 107, right? And nice. Thankfully, she couldn't say Kevin, so she called me Seven. So from a lyricist standpoint, Kevin, 7, and 107, that was like the greatest chorus in the world. So, and that song was, I took my book and I wrote down all the chapter titles, and in half an hour I had a poem written.
You had your lyrics.
I had the lyrics, yeah. but it's called, what if I live that long? Right. So it's like, well, what if you live that long? If you lived 107, or you come down with cancer at my mom's age 65, right? Like, how do you know how long you're going to live? Right. And so basically I say, to my clients and people I talk to, is that you can curse the hell out of me if you want in the morning, because you're going to work. Okay. But you're going to work not because you took too much risks. It's because you went to Disneyland, you visited your parents, you took the day off, you went to the beach with your kids, you threw the Frisbee to your dog, all that stuff. You're thinking of memories, and then you can phone me and curse me, right? But you're working longer because you can, not because you have to, right? Or no, you could maybe work because you have to, because you'd spent all that money, right? And that time. But basically, another saying I have is like, you phone in sick. You're sick, you phone in work, right? So, but I'm going to get clients to phone in retired.
Exactly.
Right? So I can phone up and say, hey, Susie, I love working with you. I love you paying my checks. But something, I'm going to phone in retired, because I know that when I wake up, I have everything. My foundation is taken care of. I have all my will in place, my estate plan in place, my retirement plan in place. So I don't have to go to work tomorrow, right? Rather than waking up and, oh my goodness, I have to work another 10 years. Right?
Right.
So it's not a regular double-double from Tim Hortons, it's an Americano to keep you awake.
Yeah, I like to say, or use as a point of reference, right? When you wake up on Monday and wish it was already Friday, like, that's not the hamster wheel we want to be on.
That's another thing is that, do you have more days than money left at the month?
Right.
Right. So
that's not this thing you want to keep you up at night.
No. And that's the thing too, is with stress, I deal with sleep apnea. So basically, sleeping, it's amazing how a sleep is important to your well-being.
Huge.
Right. And especially this day and age too, of not going to work, just working at home kind of thing, the whole exercise. Right. So the time that I spent commuting, I'm spending, outside, just exercising, going for a run, that sort of thing, right? Working on my six pack. But basically, it's one of those stress and your eating habits and too much coffee and that sort of thing, right? It's not the coffee, it's just the sugar and the cream that screw me up, right? And so, I started drinking coffee 2 days ago again after 3 months without coffee.
Well, I'm impressed.
Yeah, I just could only do it for so long.
But every once in a while you check in and you know that you can.
Oh yeah. So, but it's kind of one of those things is that it's there's only coffee, like not that it's a good segue, but when you're thinking of variable expenses and fixed expenses within your cash flow, right? Mm-hmm. Do I go to Starbucks, see if they spell my name right on my cup? Or do I make my own coffee? Right. And somebody coined, I don't know who it is, but coined the latte effect or whatever, like how much money do you spend? Mm-hmm. Right. And I think budget is a bad word. I like to use the word cash flow.
That's much more positive.
Exactly. Well, technically cash flow, technically it's different, right? But the way generally I like to use the word cash flow, because then you have more choice, right? Rather than following a budget. Susie, do you follow a budget in US dollars or Canadian dollars? That is in your household. It's different. Right? That's
true. We were talking in the green room about me being bilingual since I married Canadian.
Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly. So, you have, like in Canada, you have the French and the English version of everything. So on your budget, you're going to have, Susie, your husband's name, Dan, is that right? Hey, look, I heard that name once and I remembered it.
You got to head for details.
Analytical. So Dan could write it in Canadian dollars, and then you could have it in US dollars, right? And it's just that he can only spend about 30% less, a month kind of thing, right? So
that might work out to my advantage.
The currency difference, yeah. So, but then you could get him more things at Christmas and birthday and anniversary and all that stuff, right? So,
yeah,
his gift will be 70% of the parcel, and yours will be 130% of the parcel. However the math works on that, right? So, but Yeah. So budget's a bad word. So cash flow. It's just, if you have a money in a pocket, and you have all these things to spend, if you're going to go to Starbucks, go for it. Right. But what are you going to give up in lieu of that? Right. Are you going to bring a bag lunch to work?
Life is full of choices.
Yeah. Because you can get your kids to color your bag, your brown bunch bag, or you can go and, back in the day when you had, your metal lunch pail.
For sure. Yeah.
Now
what was on yours?
Probably like the A team or something like that.
That's a good choice.
JP Patches, maybe, if you remember.
Northwest Classic.
Exactly. JP Patches, man.
My uncle from Seattle often referring to.
And Kangaroo, Mr. Kangaroo.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And so just going back to the whole stress thing as just a de-stressor is make sure you have your life in order and have, have that with your partner, have that date once in a while, just to talk about the money. And then even teaching your kids about money. I had a program for kids or for high schoolers. I taught at grade 11 and 12. Oh, sorry, I spoke. I'm not a teacher, so I spoke at a high school. And a teacher corrected me once. So, but
defending their turf.
Grade 11, 12, fun with finances, and then a program with a ventriloquist for kids 4 to 7 age, talking about money via puppets.
I love it. We need more of that. I mean, why don't we have more money education when we're young?
Yeah, well, in Canada they have something called Junior Achievement, which does great. And but like birds and the bees, sex and all that stuff, you don't talk about the birds and the bees, you don't talk about money, two most important things in the world.
They might be.
Yeah.
It's under consideration, but potentially the two most important things in the world.
Yeah, and I think, with me, a possible second marriage or whatever, it's like relationships. You talk about prenups and marriage contracts and general. I know I'm in Canada, you're in the States, but just general.
Right.
It's like, you should really sit down and scare the hell out of people before they get married. And to say, hey, once the love ends or the level of love, turning up the heat, it's more, 16 degrees, Celsius instead of Fahrenheit. So now my relationship is in Fahrenheit, but once you get longer, it's going to be in Celsius. That's pretty good. So when it gets to Celsius and you learn that maybe the other room is warmer than the room that you're in, that so-and-so could do so-and-so to each other, that sort of thing, right? Like relationships are more costly than you think from a monetary standpoint.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Sure, my parents lived happily after all that stuff, but a divorce, money stress is a big contributor to divorce and separation or common law or whatever, the statistics are, right? So yeah, stress could be health related, could be money related, or the catalyst of stress, sorry.
Yes, and I think that it's money and the way we manage our finances is one of the things that we never want to talk about in the early stages. And when it's all romance and we're Twitter pated and we think we'll just sort that out. I mean, they couldn't be so different from where I'm at, right?
No, because dating these days, you go for coffee and you're just texting each other at the coffee table.
Right.
Right.
Yeah, you don't have to ask a girl to the senior dance. You text her.
Yeah. But I have a rule of the anti-carpal tunnel. Right. I have a quota of letters, and if she's not going to go on a date or phone me, sorry, carpal tunnel.
Only so much texting.
Yeah.
I think that's fair.
Yeah. But, no. So if I want to surround my people with, even nutrition and all that stuff, right? You don't think of that as part of your financial plan in your money conversation, but everything costs money, right? Are you going to go to McDonald's for fast food? Or are you going to, eat a salad kind of thing, right? The salad costs more money, right? Are you going to learn how to cook? Well, I learned how to cook, right? I was going to be taking a court over sodium, carbohydrates, and detached tendons. right? So detached tendons for your viewing audience is chicken nuggets. So jokes are in threes. That's great. But I chose to take my kids out for dinner instead of, and I went to a tippable restaurant. So, White Spot, or that's in, I don't know what, let's just say, I don't know what restaurant in the States. Anyways, a restaurant that you give a tip to.
Okay.
Not fast food.
A sit-down place.
A sit-down place, yes. So Olive Garden, let's just say that.
Okay.
You have Olive Garden in the States?
We do.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. And then once in a while to Dunkin', also known as Dunkin' Donuts, but Dunkin's better, I guess. Yeah, so it's just one of those things, is that conversation is important, family is important, and if you work and work and work and then die, you hear of all these stories of people that just work, get retired, and they pass away the week later. And God forbid that happens to anybody. It's just one of those things, is you only live one life, and how are you going to make an impact on your life? And stress is a big thing of that, right? So
yeah, and I love your point, to fill your life with memories instead of what ifs, right? I mean, live in the happy moments, give yourself permission to be happy now, instead of living this. Yeah, because
another thing, I do have a song for that. Yeah, it's lyrics. The what if, but it's like woulda, shoulda, coulda.
Mm-hmm.
Do I love the life do I love the life I live? Right. So should I have done that? Could I have done that? It's kind of like the analogy of in your car and you're hitting an intersection, right? And it's like the light's going to turn green, amber, or red. Do I need to make a split decision, right? Or I'd rather be proactive as much as possible than reactive. Because when we're reactive in life, we make a lot of mistakes. Some split second, that's great, right? Like one of my clients, she had to make a split decision one day in the grocery store, right? She used to use her lotto numbers by heart. And the person in front of her was talking too much. So she made a split decision to have the quick pick. And that split decision made her $1 million.
Really?
Yeah. So split decisions are
the
good.
One day. That's
right?
A life lesson right there.
Exactly. $1 million.
I thought it was going to be, and then her numbers hit and she went with the quick pick. No.
And then she memorized her numbers and she didn't use them. Right. And it's all about this conversations too, is that I had a client, she's in my book, so it's full disclosure. She was more happy and she's healthy as ever, knock on wood, but she had breast cancer. And her breast cancer was diagnosed about 2 years and 2 weeks after the day that she signed a paper in regards to what we in Canada we call critical illness. So you come down with stroke, heart attack, cancer, that sort of thing, right? And her concern was that, I didn't have enough money I don't have enough money for retirement, right? In my RSP or in the States IRA or whatever, right? So basically all about a conversation to be proactive rather than reactive, right? And then 2 years and 2 weeks later, I got the call and, I was able to give her a check for $50,000 because we had that conversation, right? And I'd rather people say no to me than wish they would have talked about it. So the wish, coulda, woulda, all right? Mm-hmm. And if you say no, it's not a cold call thing where, the more no's and you get a yes kind of thing, right? But it's like, if you have a conversation, I'd rather people say no to me and then I know we've had that conversation. So when it comes up in their dream, they wake up and, oh my goodness, I got to talk to Kevin about this, right? Or I got to talk to my counselor about this, or I got to, buy this or whatever. At least things that you're trying to figure out rather than, oh my goodness, right? Exactly.
It's much better to be educated than have your head in the sand.
Exactly. It's a cool picture if your head was in the sand, but eventually you got to get your head out of the sand so you can breathe, right?
Yes.
And if the sand is always in your head and there's no foundation on that, then it's just one of those things, right? So Yeah. And there's another song too. I had a sandbox in the backyard when I was growing up. So, when there wasn't enough rocks around, the sand, the castle fell down, right? So,
right.
And money grows on trees too.
Foundation.
Right? Money grows on trees in the States, doesn't it?
I haven't found those trees. Maybe they're in the Northwest.
Oh, Northwest. Okay.
Maybe that's where.
Yes, because I remember kindergarten, we went on a field trip to the tree farm, planted a tree. And then my mother, money doesn't grow on trees. So I, went in the backyard and, put some Monopoly money on the trees. That's where the Monopoly money went. That's such a good idea.
And that's when she knew you'd be working with finances.
Exactly. So
this one of the five, he's creative.
I am creative. Yes. You wouldn't, my grade 8 art teacher wouldn't think I was creative. No, but I feel like I'm creative, but I add, if I can make a little bit of an impact in the world, like we all want to. And I just choose the world of finance to do it that way. Some people are painters. Some people my dad was a cabinet maker, it's just your contribution to the world, right?
Exactly. And it's kind of in the same way that I tell people I see stress as the common denominator. We all have stress. It shows up in different ways. We deal with it in different ways. It can be debilitating or enhancing. That's really my jam. Everybody's got to have a relationship with money. We live in a world where you can't just choose not to engage. So, it's all about being empowered, again, in the way that you cultivate it. Educate yourself and do the things that you want, make those choices in advance and not let those choices be made for you.
Exactly. And when you engage, it's more than just a ring pop. But that's bling bling when you engage, you're wearing a ring block.
All the kids on the playground were super excited to check out the ring pop.
Exactly.
Yeah.
As long as the girl or, your partner, what flavor, because if you get the flavor wrong and it's sour, that could be foreshadowing, the relationship, right?
It could be.
And then when you're foreshadowing, you are dreaming. Like when you're having those dreams, you have to dream in the world ahead. So what do you have to do today to help you down the road too, right? So if you're stressed, well, what is your stressor? Well, let's kind of de-stress, right?
Exactly.
And that sort of thing. So, we live in a world right now, because we're videotaping this right now during COVID and everything. That's a stressor. Just life is a stress, right? And uncertainty is a stressor, right? And so it's just one of those things, is that you have to keep your health, because your health is everything, especially when we're living longer than we might work too, right?
Right.
So you never know. Right? How are you going to afford retirement? From a money standpoint.
Exactly.
Right? It's a lot more difficult to buy a home today. Like my kids are 10 and 13. So, trying to buy a house like our parents did, the house is going to be a little smaller, just a little smaller. So, there's a lot of things, and then as you're trying to teach your kids about money too, is like, my parents or my mom, don't tell them that we did this and that. It's like a big taboo subject, right? Just like going back on the birds and the bees, and it's like, no, kids have to know.
Well, and I think they don't recognize how much we pick up, and the more they avoid engaging kids in the conversation, the more parents are putting, because I love when you're talking about what is your money story. I think of it as, we pick it up as kids. We see it modeled in our parents, right?
Yeah. Because the thing is that the whole money story that I work with the course is basically your belief system, your archetypes. Do you have your head in the sand? Are you a magician? Things work for you, kind of thing, right? Who you mirror, like you put the mirror up. And who do you mirror? Like, is it your grandparents? Is it your aunt? Is it your parents? Who do you mirror? Who do you learn from, and what should you not do that you did learn? You know, the things that you heard, and so-and-so did this and so-and-so did that. Well, maybe I shouldn't do that today. You know, when I first got my job at McDonald's, it was $3.15 an hour. You know, I used to babysit and buy Atari 2600 games, you know, nostalgic. They still cost $50. You know, Pac-Man, you know, Pitfall, you know, all this stuff, you know, and it just, I used to take pictures of the TV screen and send them to Toronto to get a badge. You know, now we have digital badges, you know, but, you know, back then it's like, you know, well, $3.15, you know, bought you a lot of stuff. Right. But it's just one of those things, is that talking about money with the kids, you know, money doesn't grow on trees, you know, and kids, you know, I'm more up. Okay. Yes, it's going to cost me money. You know, do you want to leave the light on, or do you want a treat? You know, if you want to leave the light on, well, let's look at the hydro bill. All right. And let's look at a 52-week average. I'll do the flow charts, you know, we'll have our own little potty training. You know, we already got potty training stickers. You know, you got one sticker for number 1, 2 stickers for number 2, if you know what number 1 and number 2 is. And then number 3, oh my, diarrhea. Oh my goodness. But basically, you know, having some sort of reward system, chores and that sort of thing. It's like, yeah, you got to help.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right? And then things, you know, things in life aren't free.
And recognizing, exactly, leaving the light on equals not so much of this. It's full of choices. When we recognize the choices we're making, then we can plan ahead, right?
Yeah. Yeah. So, you know, and what, you know, you grocery shopping and stuff, well, that's boring, but, you know, we can have more, you know, just budgeting, right? Looking at the, it's a great math, you know, bringing a huge calculator to the grocery shopping, you know, and looking at a block of cheese, you know, how much is it per 100 grams or pound or kilogram, depending what country you're in, right? And a gallon of milk versus a liter, you know, kind of thing, right? And gas, oh my goodness. You know, we're close to the border, so a lot of people, well, not now, but across the border just for milk, cheese, eggs, and gas, right? So. But yeah, so
it's full of choices.
Full of choices.
So another topic that I find interesting, if you feel like exploring this too,
ask away.
Can you focus on the numbers too much without focusing on what's important? Can the planning hold you back from doing?
I think so, because if you
double.
It's cold now, but that's okay.
I'm sorry.
A cold double is fine. Basically, if you're looking at the numbers, is that, okay, do I want to retire with $1 million? How long is that going to last?
Not as long as it used to.
Exactly. Well, the thing is that you can retire tomorrow if you want, right? But I think you might want to go on eBay and start buying a tent. And buying a nice parcel of grass. And we're not talking the 420 version.
No.
You know, so, but you can, how long are you going to, you know, a lot of things, okay, how long are you going to live on your investments and savings before you can have to rely on what the government gives you, right? Kind of like a staycation versus a vacation.
Right.
Right. Well, you know, vacation meaning your active years, how long are you going to be healthy? And then how long, you know, care in the States, you know, I don't know the plans and all that stuff, but, you know, healthcare in homes and care homes and that stuff, it's not cheap. You know, and so it's, if you focus on the numbers, you got to know what the numbers are, right? But then you got to decide, well, do I want to live for today or do I want to live for tomorrow? And if tomorrow doesn't come, are you on your deathbed, you know, thinking, okay, I wish I would have, could have, you know, what if? Right. So with the numbers, it is important. You got to know what the numbers are, just like you got to know what taxes you paid and all that stuff. Right. But if you don't know the numbers, then you're going to have cracks in the foundation. Right. So it doesn't mean that you take some chalk and you put, you know, numbers all over the foundation. That's a kind of a good idea. But basically there's cracks in there, and those cracks need to be filled once in a while. And that's when you review those numbers, right? It's kind of like, you have a stress. Okay, let's say something stresses you out. You put it in a box, you put the box away, and then okay, I don't have to worry about it till whenever. And then you pull the box out, you deal with the stress, and you put it out. So if you know the numbers, and then you enjoy life, but then you can enjoy life too much. And if it's you might enjoy, you're going shopping for some dopamine, right? And you get that dopamine, and then 30 days later, when that credit card bill comes, that stress hits, right? But that shot of dopamine was pretty good for those 30 seconds or whatever it is, right? So it's just the numbers are important, but in what's the moderation.
Yeah, I think that's a really important balance to recognize. We can plan, but we don't have to put all of our eggs in that basket, if you will.
No.
There's a balance in living the life we enjoy right now, planning.
Yeah, but then if you have the variable of a partner, and you have the variable of dependence, right, of children, or of the dog and the cat, Ms. Piper and Mr. Bundy, for those wrestling people, R.R. Bundy, or R.R. Piper, Rowdy Piper, also known as Roof Piper. And then KK Bundy, thanks to my twin sisters, couldn't say Kevin, they called me KK, but King Kong Bundy, from those 1980s wrestling fans. Yay! Yes. Body slam. And yeah, so you think, I had a when I was married, we had a cat, and she got cancer. I had to put her down, and I said, I'm not gonna have a pet unless I can afford pet insurance, right? Now, whether should have it or not, save money, is it cheaper? It's not cheap, but that's one of the things, is that's part of my plan for my I was going to say kids, the pet kids. Well, I have a Mexican hairless, so you can't say the furry kids because she only has a mohawk, and a Peterbald cat. But yeah, so it's just one of those things, is that you know the numbers, and sometimes you got to put a sweater on instead of turning up the thermostat.
Yeah.
So the pets get the thermostat. I wear the sweater in the room. So
selfless father that you are.
I try to be. Yes. Yes.
I love it. I think that's really important for people to recognize. By being aware and educating ourselves, we can recognize what we can enjoy right now without feeling guilty about it too.
Yeah, because if you're going to feel guilty about it, it's not good to do, right? And
we recognize that as we get older.
Yeah, but you kind of learn those lessons, though.
Right? Yeah. It's all easier in the rearview mirror.
Exactly.
Oh, that was not worth it.
It reminds me of when I was speaking at the high schools. I used to have all the kids put up their, hey, who has a cell phone? Put up your hand. So everybody would put up their hand, right? And I said, okay, let me ask you this question. Who pays for your cell phone bill? Leave your hand up. No one's hand, right? It's always mom and dad paying for it, right? And it's one of those things, is that, I have clients that, might pay for their kids' education, but they don't tell the kids that till they graduate, because they want their children to know that nothing's for free, right? Because if it's not payable, I can slack, all that stuff, right? And so it's just, if you know the numbers, you might not be a math whiz, but if you know the numbers, then you can put, if you hit the numbers, go get some scratch and sniff stickers. Remember those from the 80s? Scratch and sniff stickers? Yeah.
I got those when I practiced the piano from my piano teacher.
Well, that's one thing that kicks me now that I'm doing the music. I said, why on earth did I give my parents such a hard feelings when they were buying music lessons for me? It's like, I wish I could play music.
I know. And
now I just write lyrics.
Yeah, now you have to have a composer in your entourage.
Exactly. It's like, I'm Barry Taupin, and my partner is Elton John,
I love it.
Right?
It takes a team.
Yeah, and who knew I was going to be be on Spotify and iTunes. Like, whoa, I've made it.
Yes.
I'm a published author, but once you have your own CD, you've made it.
Exactly. It's those dreams you didn't even know you were harboring. That
exactly. I'm not just like a good singer in the shower. Yes. Yeah. So going back to stress about numbers, if you have the numbers right, then you can lessen the stress. Be proactive instead of reactive, but you have to be reactive in sometimes. But it's kind of like when I go back and when I was played soccer, I never got a red card. I got a yellow card. I tried my hardest to get a red card, but no referee would give me a red card. But it's one of those things is that, go green in your financial plan. Okay, green, go, right? Amber is like, should I go or should I not go? At the intersection, right? Red, you stop, right? And hopefully in life, there's not a lot of red lights, right? So, or you don't have to wait that long until the green light. Because the thing is, the red light could happen at the end of the month or the beginning of the month, right? You spend all this money and all of a sudden, oops, the green light is your next paycheck, right? So, or deposit in your bank account or whatever, right? So, it's just one of those things, and then one of the de-stressors I have is my own therapy is my writing. And whether it's jokes, whether it's lyrics, whether it's songs, kind of thing. And it's just, that's my therapy. When you go the stresses of life, whether it's divorce or the stock market or the kids and all that stuff, my de-stressor is going for a walk, playing with pets or just, sitting down and just writing a song. Well, I can't just, it's kind of hard just to sit down and say, okay, Kevin, you're going to write a song or you're going to write a joke. It's really hard, right? But sometimes it comes in 10 seconds.
Yeah.
Right? So you can't, it's one of those things, being creative, you can't time it. You can sit down and say, I'm going to be creative, right? But if you can't just, at least I can't. I'm sure there's people out there that are better skilled than I am. But with me, it's just sitting down and then something will come to me and it'll take 10 minutes. It's kind of like being an entrepreneur versus being an employee, right? You get paid by the hour, you get paid by the idea. And so, I can't, that's the thing with the whole life coaching thing is that I just can't fill a whole hour. It's like, if I find a solution for somebody, Susie, I'm going to tell you right away. I'm not going to wait an hour to give you the, because I get paid by the hour, right? So that's just one of those things is that creativity from an entrepreneur side, I didn't know I was going to be an entrepreneur. My grandfather was actually an entrepreneur. And so I say that, he passed me down the business chromosome. And it's just one of those things is that I never knew I was, I was just scared crapless, basically because, oh my goodness, what's going to happen tomorrow kind of thing. Right. And for me, taking chances, that's what, as entrepreneurs, you got to do. You got to take chances. Right. But you have to you have to do the numbers too. Right. And then as a creative and sometimes I got to do this, I got to do this. And you got to step back and just say, oh, oops, should I do this month or should I wait till next month? And that's the difficulty of a creative person because you just want to be creative. You want to get that, is it called dopamine when you have an idea? I don't know, but it's just that rush.
Yeah.
There's a famous Canadian band called Rush.
Great band.
Right. And so it's, you got the rush, right? so it's basically, did you hear from the Moolah Doula? Did Mr. Smith phone you? Unlock your happy. I have a life coach, it's a maze to amazing. It's like, okay, well, your life's a maze, but how can you make it to amazing? And right. So, how long does it take to go from a maze to amazing? And stress can get in the way. All right.
So tell our listeners and viewers how they can take more of this in, work with you. Where's your program? How can they get connected?
I have on Facebook, you can go to Mr. Moolah Doula on Facebook. You can go to YouTube. I have my videos there. My company is called Green Rock Financial Group. So that's on the corporate side because I do the money side, the insurance side in Canada. And in the book, Financial Photographs. So just, I'm at the end of the day, I'm just looking for a conversation, because if you don't start talking, then you don't know where the wisdom comes from, right?
Right.
So I just open for a conversation. You never know what can be said next. You say hello, and then the next word comes, and the next word comes, and the next word comes, right?
And maybe a song.
Maybe a song. I've someone talked about the other idea about phoning your client, but having a singing message. Now that's interesting. I'd try that. Maybe if I'll phone you, Susie, and I'll sing you a message. Thank you for having me on your show. I really enjoyed it, don't you know? I hope that everybody will show, and at the end of the day, make some dough. Oh, oh,
That one's for your Grammy Award-winning album.
Exactly. As long as it's on key. Because it's easy to be a tenor, but a bass, it's pretty, it's not the easiest thing to do that, right? So Instagram, Gebert.Kevin. Yeah, I'm learning Instagram, the IG, life and money and purpose, because, I want people to live their life and money and purpose, so they can, at the end of the day, they look back and they think of the memories and not the what ifs.
Yes. I think that's the goal, right? To fill that book with pictures.
Pictures, exactly. And then those, develop them over, and then at the end of the day too, what are those pictures going to look like in the future? How can you take your camera and take the experience that you have as a photographer from your history, and how do you move that lens so the picture is clear going forward, so you can enjoy life with those that you love? So, and if you ever want to birth a money story, Mr. Moolah Doula is here, because we birth money stories.
I love it. I'm so excited to bring this conversation, because I haven't really had this topic come up yet in the podcast. And so I think it's so important, because obviously money can be the source of a lot of stress. Yeah. And why does it need to be?
Definitely. But Susie, one thing, I stepped out of my comfort zone. I was told that I had a good face for radio. Right? So I went on this thing called Zoom. And if it wasn't for Zoom, and it wasn't for wherever we met, Jay Facette or Iman or whoever it was, okay? Thanks to them, you and I met. And because of them, we were having this conversation, And like we talked in the green room, my hair, some of your videos, your viewers out there, my hair was a little longer. And I just wanted to show off my gray.
That's right. Very distinguished. We're cleaning up our COVID cuts.
Cleaning up. Yes. It was part COVID and part because I did filming in October and filming in March, so I had to look the same. So I kind of like the look, and my hairdresser said, you got to have short hair, and it was like cheating on my hairdresser if I went to another person to cut my hair. So I had to wait and all that stuff, right? So, things that the stresses of having someone else cut your hair. Oh my goodness. So, but I did dye my hair once myself.
Yes.
You always have to try things once, never repeat, as the Head and Shoulders shampoo says. But I think, I'd love to repeat this in the future. But thank you for the great time today. And as the famous philosopher Mr. Rogers once said, make it a snappy good day. But the only thing is if your thumb and your ring finger don't work together, you got to go to the audio jungle or whatever and get the snappy. So you go like this, right? So I was thinking that, we're talking to the green room about, the sun comes out or the clouds move.
Yeah.
If it's a snappy good day and your thumb and your ring finger is not working, how can put it this way? Okay. Challenge to all the viewers out here in Susie Vineland. Okay. Is that if your ring finger and your thumb is not working, okay, I challenge you to write down below how you can make your day a snappy good day. That's my challenge to you. If I wake up one day and I'm trying to make it a snappy good day and my thumb and my ring finger are just not working, how can I make it a snappy good day? So that's my challenge to you.
I love it. We'll see what we get back.
Exactly.
Post a comment, send us a message, light up the wires.
Exactly.
Dial your rotary.
Jump the border. We did invent hockey. We did give you Wayne Gretzky.
You did.
Yeah.
And I don't think we returned the favor in any kind of fashion.
No, because he married an American. So, he's in the States now, right? So kind of like Dan, he marries an American and he sticks, But remember, we have the Toronto Raptors.
Yes.
We the North. Actually, before I know, you got more important things to do. But Kawhi Leonard.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, this is what I'm going to do. On one of my songs, it's is it Amaze to Amazing? I think it's Amaze to Amazing. Okay, I've known people that are participation ribbon people. Okay,
right.
I am like I won the athlete of the year in grade 7. I have a trophy. So basically, I'm not one of the participation ribbon kind of things, right? But anyway, so in the song, it's like, I don't want another participation ribbon. I want to be on the court and shoot the winning shot. So Toronto Raptors, there's a great thing. I think it was the final or the semifinal before the final against Milwaukee. Kawhi Leonard, who plays for the LA Clippers right now, he made a shot. So 18,000 people, quiet as ever. The basketball hits the rim. 1, 2, 3, 4, in. Yeah! So I incorporated that into my song. So I'm going to actually send it. So anybody out there that has any NBA connections or actually knows Kawhi Leonard, I'm going to tweet. I'm going to use the Twitter. I love it. I'm going to use the Twitter. I'm going to tweet. My parents, hey, that's foreshadowing. My parents used to raise budgies. There's a lot of tweeting going on. So basically, I'm going to tweet because that's in my song. I shout out to Kawhi Leonard. So I don't know where we were going with that, but yeah. So I will tweet it out, and I look forward to talking about how you got your last name, whether it has anything to do with grapes.
Yeah. I'm gonna let the suspense build on that one. We'll come back around.
Okay, because my mom did genealogy.
Right.
There was a conspiracy. My great grandfather or great great grandfather name was McIntyre turned to Barber. We don't know why that. Maybe there was a reason.
Oh. Yeah.
Maybe there was a reason.
That's quite a jump.
Maybe he just had to cut it to a shorter name. I don't know. Yeah.
Couldn't bring any more Macs over.
No. McIntyre, no apples.
No.
Just hairdressers. Yeah. So, but thank you, Susie.
Yes.
In the Vine universe.
Been a treat. We'll see what's in my glass next time.
It was a divine experience.
Yes.
Yes. No. Well, thank you very much.
It has been a pleasure.
Pass along a Canadian hello to Dan.
I will do.
Yes, and tell him that he has a wonderful wife.
I'll remind him of that.
Yeah, just remind him.
He needs that now and then.
Yeah, and go Padres. Because I know Chargers is a bad word in San Diego.
Yeah. We won't talk about our Chargers.
I know. So, but Canadian football out here, it's really exciting. 3 downs, much better than 4 downs.
Moves a little quicker. More time for coffee.
Little more, yeah, more. So I'm gonna go warm up my double. And no, seriously, thanks again, Susie. It's been a pleasure. And until we meet again.
Yes, I look forward to our reconnection, our revisiting. We'll see what ground we cover, what songs we sing.
Awesome. And I might even, have a theme song for you next time.
Oh,
It's
all right.
the Vine Show. It's the Vine Show. Green grapes or red. It's the Vine Show. It's the Vine Show.
Stay tuned.
Stay tuned.
We'll come back around. All right, Kevin, it has been a pleasure. Thank you so much for entertaining me, for opening
I'm entertaining I hope that I
myself.
entertain you and entertain your viewers. And but I call, just like at your grade 7 dance, I'm always open for suggestions. And I will be the lyricist, but from a Mr. Moolah money side, so that you can live your life and money on purpose.
On purpose. I love it. Thank you so very much.
Thanks.
You take care.
Yeah, see ya.
And we'll talk to you soon.
I look forward to it.
Thank you for tuning in today. Check out the show notes for any links we mentioned. To learn more about living life with less stress and more flow, visit happifiedlife.com. And if you found value in today's episode, make sure you subscribe to catch the next one and leave a review to help fellow pod surfers find Happified. Until next time, keep on shining.